Glenda Mollett here, and welcome to my craft room. Oh my gosh, what an awesome day we are having. It is another super team event, and we love putting these on for you guys. All right, I'm just getting my computer up here so that I can watch for comments. And I think I'm live. Oh, wait, I'm live, but you're not seeing me. Okay, got that. One more step. Some days Facebook just eludes me. There we go. That's how I am going to track comments. Perfect. All right, so thank you, Lori, for that amazing card and all of her wonderful samples. I don't have extra samples for you today, but I have an idea of how I deal with templates for fun folds. And techniques too. You can do it for techniques. Hello, everybody. I'm not going to say hello to you all individually because we'd be here way past my time. And I'm sure Marcy is ready to bring her beautiful project. I have no idea what it is. Well, she did share the measurements, but brain fog, not happening, not remembering. So I am also using the Gathering Together suite and the Amber Autumn bundle in particular, and that gorgeous designer paper. So let me flip you around. Oh, right, I'm not live on YouTube. Oh, shoot, that's okay. All right, so this is the card. It's called a book binding, which is this part of the card, explosion card. Isn't that fun? Yes, it does stand up on its own. Not when it's open like this, though. It kind of sort of does, but you don't get the full effect of the explosion part. Now, you're probably looking at this going, oh, you're getting an echo? I don't know. Are people getting an echo? I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix that. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't know. Technology. Every day you go live and something has changed. So can somebody, one of my Silver Sisters out there, let me know if the echo is bad and do I have to start all over again? Okay. Okay. I am going to end this, and it will take me about 3 or 4 minutes to come back, and hopefully the next one won't have the echo in it. I don't know what's going on. I've got that turned off, and maybe if I turn. Okay, so I've just done one more click. Let me know if there is an echo. No, I don't have sound on in both places. Okay, good. All right. Lisa says it's better. Thank you, Lisa. I'm just going to go with it. And okay, good. All right. So let's create this card. But first, I want to show you how I deal with my templates for my fun folds. So I have a box, one of those boxes that the photos come in, and it's very full, but one of the long ones. And I make these things up and they stand in the box like this. So when I look for, and they're alphabetical, because if you know me at all, I am super OCD. And when I want it, I can just flip through. I put the name of it up here, and then it has all of the instructions on here. And these are the plastic envelope sleeves, the outside plastic covering that all of our dies come in. I get my teamies and customers to save these for me because I reuse them, and that's what I use for class cards that I have to give to somebody and for my fun fold templates. So I used retired stuff because we all got that out there, and I put the name of it, and I usually put who inspired me to do the fold, but I didn't on this one. So I put the name of it, then I go and put the sizes and where the score needs to be. And there's the the inside note for me. And then I just keep it in here. And when I think, oh, I want to make a fun fold, what was that one that I made on the Super Team event way back in September? I can go in there and flip through, and I know it's a bookbinding explosion card. And there I have all of my measurements. I don't have to go look up anything, nothing. It's right there. Okay, so I've done most of the stamping and coloring and die cutting because I didn't want this to go too long. But I am using Cajun Craze and Early Espresso. And I just realized when I stamped my sentiment for this card, I stamped it in Early Espresso. So, oh well. Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Pecan Pie, Cajun Craze, and Old Olive. Now, I know in Canada we say pecan pie. Well, I do anyways. And I have such a fun night when I'm using pecan pie or pecan pie in one of my Facebook Lives. And I'll have one of my US friends tell me that it's not pecan, it's pecan, because a pecan is a thing you keep in your car for your male children to be able to pee on the run. Just saying. Okay, I'm using the Autumn Amber bundle, and true confession, I have not used this yet because I haven't had time. And on my original one, I put the streak dots that belong to this suite, and they are so pretty. They look like, you know, that technique we do, the rubbing alcohol Stampin' Blends on vellum technique. That's what these look like to me. So Tamara used them as well, but now I'm going to use the Cajun Craze and Gold dots because my card is Cajun Craze as well. And these ones have gorgeous gold inside. And this is what I'm giving away a package of these when you enter my challenge at the end of the week. By noon on Sunday, next Sunday, you have it like 8 days to get in the challenge. And then I thought after I made it, I could use one of the gold hoops. So I pulled out a gold hoop and we're going to use that. I'll go through all the measurements for you. 8.5, nope. 4.25 by 11, and it is scored at 4.25 and 5.5. Yeah, mauve and mauve, I know. And then they do, instead of 3/4, they say 3/4. And that's why Canadians have their own culture. Okay, so I scored it at 5.5. Now I'm going, and folded it. Now the score line is there at 4.25, and I'm just going to fold that back. Now, when I do my fun folds and I do the folds, I have a tendency to do them more than once. I go one way, then go the other way, and then flip it back the way you want it to end up, because that just helps to break down the fibers in that paper, and your fun folds will lay flatter in the end. Okay, so I got that, and an envelope, because I never send out a naked envelope. And I laughed at Shauna this morning. It's called exposed brick, and she calls it naked brick. I love that. That's fun. Okay, that's my envelope. Oops, let's stamp that. Okay, I have a gold hoop. And don't you think that would look cool underneath there? And I'll show you how to attach that gold hoop to your card. Then I have 2 pieces of the Gathering Together designer paper, and I cut it at 5 by 4. And then I cut off an inch. That way you have a pattern continuing. And then I have a piece for the inside that is 6 by 6. And I'll show you how I folded this. I had to fold it to get it in my envelope. So I have that. Then I have 2 pieces of basic white that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that's for the inside, these 2 inside ones. And then I had a piece that's 3 by 3 1/4, and I already stamped and die cut and partially colored my pumpkins. 2 pieces of basic beige ribbon. One is 6 inches and one is 4, and that's to do the ribbon on the side. And you have to do that first before you glue your bookbinding part down. And then I also did the die cutting. I used the earthen tone metallic. That's a gorgeous browny bronzy color, and gold. And if you can see on here, when I put these leaves together, I mixed and matched the centers that come out. Now, when I die cut, I was using the adhesive sheets. While everything is so expensive now, I stopped doing that. Not that I tell my customers, but I have. So now what I do is I put Tombow on the back of things. Then I let it dry, clear, and it remains tacky. I did this about 5 days ago and it's still tacky. And then I can just put it on a piece of the plastic that comes in our photopolymer stamp sets, and they're ready for me to use. They just like they have adhesive sheet on the back of them. So those are already die cut. Okay, so let's get busy here. Where's my adhesive? First thing you need to do is put on that 1x4 strip of designer paper onto the side fold of your card. Just like that. And I'm centering it there. And then I forgot to grab my tear and tape. So excuse me while I grab that. Okay, then I'm going to put adhesive at the top and the bottom and take the 6-inch piece of ribbon and wrap it around. And because I put adhesive there, I can just fold it over and it's going to stay where I want it. Of course, it grabs your fingers and pulls your fingerprints off as well. So there we go. And then if you want, you can use your grid paper. Wait a minute. Apparently I'm not in screen. There we go. You can use your grid paper to make sure you get it lined up properly. And I'm a little bit out, so I'm just going to move it like that. And then I take 2 pieces of our tear and tape and put it over top. Now, by doing this, your ribbon will never move because you've got it glued underneath and you got it glued on the top. Then remove your liner. Yeah, remove your liner. Oh my Lord. It's going to be one of those days. Remove your liner and then put lots of adhesive on here so this stays closed. And then just fold it over this way, fold it over and glue it down. And that becomes the bookbinding part of your project. So when you open it, this is only 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 on the inside. Okay, so now let's just put the front designer paper on, and this is 4 by 4. And I'm going to try and get the pattern to match up because I'm OCD like that. This card on the front, you can use directional designer paper, but you cannot use directional designer paper for the inside. It won't work because you'll have it cockeyed. I tried. Okay, so now let me get out a silicone mat. And I'm going to take my gold hoop because we're going to use it, and my precision tip glue bottle that I got off of Amazon, and I'm just running a bead of Tombow all the way around that hoop. Now these hoops are flat on these sides, so it doesn't matter which side you use. And just like I did for my die cuts, I'm going to let it dry, and then it dries clear and becomes a whole line of glue dots. We'll put that off to the side and we will do the inside. Okay, I'm going to lose this. So let's put the knot part on. So this is 4 inches. You can do it a little bit smaller if you've got fingers that aren't so fat like mine. And then tie a knot, but move it along to where you want it before you pull it tight. There we go. I've got my phone is up a little too high. Let me just do that because I feel like I'm not doing it on screen for you. And I'm just going to trim the edges, the tails of my ribbon. There we are. Does anybody remember when they had these gorgeous ribbon cutting scissors? Man, many people have been warned not to use those on cardstock. Okay, so we're going to take our 6x6 piece of designer paper now, and you fold it over this way in half. Then you turn it 90 degrees and you fold it over that way in half. So now I've got a fold from here to here and from there to there. And then one of the angles from point to point, you're going to fold like that. Just one, not both. So now I have score line here, a score line there, and one going diagonally. Oof. So this is the side I want out. So I'm looking at it up. You just take your fingers and you see how I've got my finger in there. I'm just pushing up at the same time that I'm pulling in, and it will turn into a lovely little square that is 3 inches by 3 inches. And that's what's going to go on the inside of our card. So put adhesive on one side. Then you grab your card. Now, if you want to put stuff on the inside here, you want to put some designer paper or something, all you would need is like a 2 1/4 inch strip of designer paper to show on the sides, because you don't see the rest of it. Okay, so when this opens, it's going to open this way. So you want it, you're putting it in here diagonally, and I use my grid paper so that I know where the center is. So I'm lining up the top and the bottom point on my grid paper on that line at the 8. And then I have to make sure that it's not interfering with the fold. So it's got to go over just a hair. And it will fit right inside the confines of your card. Then close your card. And there you go. So now to do the other side, you just fold it up, put the adhesive on it, and close your card. Now it's exactly where it needs to be so that it lays down nice and flat. And then when you open it, ta-da! Isn't that amazing? I dare you to make one and not play with it for hours because it's so much fun. Okay, so I've already got this one stamped and ready to go. These are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this one's going to fit in here. And you can kind of play with it to see which way you want it. So let's put that one on because I've already colored this one. So we're good to go. I am going to color the other ones so that you can see the techniques I used to color these. And I'm just putting it in here kind of center. It's a little difficult to see those folds. So I put it in, and before I push it down, I just start to fold the card up so I can see where those folds are. Now you can see why if you have directional designer paper, it's going to be sideways like this, which is okay if that's what you want to do, but not me. So there's the inside. Now I have already colored most of the pumpkin scene for the front, and I haven't colored this one yet. If I don't have time to color that, then I'm not going to worry about it because I can color it after I stick it in there. Now these are all stamped with early espresso. And I love early art inks because I think 95% of our basic dye-based inks you can use with Stampin' Blends. You don't have to use Memento. Okay, so to get the pumpkin, can you see the shading I've done on the pumpkin like that? I'm taking light pumpkin pie. Hang on. I got to take a drink. I haven't talked this much yet this morning. I got up and got in here to watch our opening presenter. And then hubby left, and I haven't even said good morning to him yet. That's okay. He'll be back. He comes home when he's hungry. Okay, so I'm going to put light on here. And you can see that I'm leaving spots undone. That's intentional. When you're coloring with our alcohol markers, our Stampin' Blends, you know that you're doing a good job, and it will be easy to blend when it goes through to the other side of your cardstock. And I'll show you that in a second. And I just jerked while I was coloring, and I have some outside where I want it. So I'm just going to grab my color lifter and fix that. So when you look on the other side, you see how it's coming through? That's what you need to be able to blend things properly. All right. So I'm taking my color lifter, and I don't know whether you can see or not right down at the bottom there. I've got a couple of spots where I've overshot my Stampin' Blends, and I'm just going to go over with the lifter and just do it once and then let it play. This takes a while to do, but it pushes the color through to the other side. Hello, Tamara. Thanks, Shauna. I'm sorry. I'm not listening or watching comments. I should be doing that. I'm just glad everybody's here and I'm having so much fun. It's been a week. I haven't done as much crafting as I want this week. So now I'm just taking my dark pumpkin pie and adding it to the outside areas. And where the artist has already given us the hash marks, that's a really good indication of where your darker color should be. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, that's awful. Yes, it is. Just remember that Stampin' Blends blend, and they don't look good when you're trying to blend until you're done with them. So don't stop. Whatever you're doing and you start, don't stop. There we are. So I've got my dark on there now. And I'm going back in with my light, and I'm going to go all over the whole thing. And because I've got just one layer of color in the center there where those light spots are, I'm only going over it once. I'm not going back over it again and again. Just one layer of color in the center there. And that gives you your highlights. And it also blends everything else together. Now you could use your color lifter afterwards and lift the color out of that a bit. There we go. But I just do this method because it's just a little bit less intense. Okay, so then I'm going to take my light old olive and do the handle, also known as the stem. But who doesn't pick their pumpkin up by the handle? Like, come on. And then I'm going to take some dark old olive, just add a little bit. Oh, that was the wrong stem. Add a little bit in there. And I've already colored the rest of it exactly the same way. So there, that one's done. And that's ready to put on my front, along with my sentiment that I stamped in the wrong color. Okay, so to do this, I usually like to take a stamping paper when I'm going off to the edge so I don't get it on my grid paper, because I like to save my grid paper because it's expensive, just like everything else. But I can't craft without my grid paper. So I'm going to do the same techniques for the inside pumpkins. I'll do this again so you can see, and then I'll do one of the leaves so you can see how I created the leaves as well. And then I'll finish it up afterwards. So you put your light on, and I'm going all over the whole thing except for down the center where I want my highlights to be. just like that. And sometimes I can't color and talk at the same time. And then the dark, a little bit on the top, and then along the outside edges, and definitely where it sits in behind those other pumpkins. And I think the thing on the side, I think that's a squash. And you can use different colors too. If you wanted this to be a little bit darker, I would use the dark pumpkin pie and then dark Cajun craze. I think that would make a really pretty pumpkin. And if you're commenting, I'm sorry because I can't color and watch the comments at the same time. That I know I can't do. There we go. Go back over with my light and just blend everything together. You're supposed to go in circular pattern when you're using alcohol markers because it helps to get to saturate your cardstock so it flows better. You can see the back. You need to see that when you're coloring with alcohol markers. Okay, so to do a leaf, I took this one I did one way, and then I tried something a little bit different on this one. So you take the dark old olive, and I'm just going to go down the center of the leaves. Now, here in BC, we get gorgeous leaf colors, but we don't usually get them for long periods of time. Now I'm going to use light Cajun craze because we usually have such wet weather that our leaves go mush before they finish turning color. But this year, we haven't had rain. I don't live on the wet coast anymore. So that was light Cajun craze. And now I'm just going to go over top of the whole thing with dark Daffodil Delight. So you can see when I did the pumpkin, I started with the light and I went into the dark. When I'm doing the leaves, I'm putting the colors on first and then blending it all together with the Daffodil Delight. So there's the leaf. Now, of course, leaves can be any color. All right, so now I'm doing one of the corns, taking the dark Daffodil Delight. I should put some light on the end here. That's light Daffodil Delight. Blending those. Not that there is a real difference, but I know it's different. And then I'm going to take light Cajun craze and just add a little bit on the bottom. And then take my dark Cajun craze and add right at the very edge where it's underneath those, what are those things called on your corn? Yeah, words are hard today. And this is light Daffodil Delight, just going back over top of it to blend it all together. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through coloring the whole thing, but there you go. Some good coloring tips. Hi, Wendy. Okay, so now this is going to go inside, but I'm not going to use permanent tape. I have some temporary tape because I have to take it back out to color it. So this one is going to go in here like this. And then once again, I'm just going to fold it, make sure I've got it in the right spot. And there's your inside. And there's enough room there to say happy birthday, Husk. Yes, thank you, Nikki. Okay, so let's do the front. First of all, I'm going to put my gold hoop on. And you can see that the Tombow has now gone clear and acts just like a million little glue dots. So just put it right onto your project where you want it. And it's not coming off, people. It's not coming off. I probably should have put it over top. I really wanted to put it underneath these though. So I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put one there. And then we'll take the centers. I love these little things that come out of the center. Don't throw those away because they really add a little bit extra to your projects. just a little bit of texture to those leaves. And I'm mixing and matching the brown and the gold here. And see how easily those come off that plastic? And it's been a few days since I did them. So it's not like you've got only 24 hours. Okay, I'm gonna take this one and we'll just put it in. Have to make sure that you don't go past that fold line or you won't be able to get your card open. See this, it needs to be able to not bind up there in the card. All right, then we have this one. Put that in there like that. And get some dimensionals, not the big ones. So I am in recovery because I'm a super dimensionalizer. Hi, my name is Glenda, and I over-dimensionalize everything. Because I think, well, if 4 works, 8 is better. I'm trying not to use as many. You should have seen me in my class the other night. One little tiny piece, I think it had 8 dimensionals on it, and it was only about a 1.5 by 1.5 piece. But that's okay, we laughed because they all know me. Okay, so this is going to go in here like that. Now my sentiment, it's a bit long, so I'm going to cut it, but maybe I'll do this. I'm going to cut it at an angle. And then if you want the other side to be exactly the same angle, take that piece that you cut off, lay it on here, move it along to where you want to cut it, hold it there. Can you see what I've done there? And then just cut along that line. And now you're getting the angle exactly the same on both sides. You never know what you're going to learn when you turn into one of my Keeping It Real videos. Okay. Now this might be a little bit more tricky to get on because I've got that hoop on there. But if I put the dimensionals in the right spot, there we go. So I have a dimensional there and then one on this side. And they're just sitting on that hoop like that. So tell me in the comments whether you're watching this live or you're watching the repeat. Do you like the hoop on there or do you like it without the hoop? While you're doing that, I'm going to put my Cajun Craze and gold dots on. These are so pretty. I have been using a lot lately. See, I would have put one there, but that I've got all the things on there. So when you put your embellishments on in a triangle is best because that's what makes your eyeballs happy. Oh, let's put it right up here. There we go. So it's kind of a triangle. Oh, people are liking the hoops. Yay. And other than stamping my envelope, which I haven't done yet, the project is done. So I'm going to take the one with the acorns on there and my early espresso ink. And we'll just stamp. So I go for a walk every day. And we have 2 bears, a mummy and a baby cougar in my area. So I'm not walking early in the morning anymore. But every time I go for a walk, there's at least 2 more piles of bear poo where I walk. Because we have 2 of them hanging out with us now. There we go. The hardest part of this is coloring. If you're using this bundle, but you can make this with any designer paper and any stamp set, and it would be pretty either way. So there we go. There's the explosion part. Yay! I got it done. And look at that. I'm not too far over. We aim for half an hour for our videos, and we have 45 minutes before the next presenter comes on. So at 9:30, Marcy's coming on. Do I take bear spray with me? No, I don't. No. They tend to run away when it's just the shock factor of finding a bear standing in the middle of your path. What everything is fine. Yeah. They'll be gone soon. They head up to the mountains. They're just down here gorging themselves. They don't hibernate in our area. They sleep, so they're not in there for months at a time. They wake up and they come back out. Thanks, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed my project. Stay tuned for Marcy coming up at 10:30. And don't forget our challenges. The post each presenter's challenge post will post after everything is done, so you don't get sidetracked. And they'll be pinned to the featured section. So you just have to go to featured or put in the search bar Glenda's challenge, and it will pop up. And yes, we are putting the video links into the gallery as well, so you can watch them there, because Facebook doesn't love us after 30 days. Go figure. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of our presentations, and get out there and get inky today. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Snap and smiles. Bye for now.